men murdered. One of them, Kittridge, the scientist, by somebody calling himself the mysterious Mr. M. That's the story for publication, and that's all.
Look, I know the newspapers aren't supposed to learn that Kittridge is the key to all this or that Jim Farrell has disappeared. But don't you think it's time I was told?
Kittridge invented a submarine engine that will revolutionize ocean travel. M is after it, and we think he's using Jim Farrell to get it.
I'll wake him now and cue him for 12 o'clock.
What about contacting Grant Farrell?
We conditioned Jim to take care of that for us, too. Farrell. Farrell.
Now what? Let's go home. But I've got to check the control room first. We've got circuits there that you can't monkey with. Coming?
Oh, sure, Jim. Let's go.
Feel any better, Jim?
A little, Grant.
Think you can answer a few more questions?
I'll try.
What made you take me to the control room of the plant and then attack me?
I've already told you, Grant. I don't remember. My mind's a blank on all you say happened. Tampering with the controls. The fire, the explosion.
Just what do you remember, Jim?
Only my arrival at the plant.
You remember meeting a Mr. M.
Mr. M. Who is he? Should I know him?
We thought you might have been with him.
No. I was at Silver Lake Lodge alone.
The lodge has been closed for 2 months.
But I'm sure I was there.
It isn't advisable to question him anymore. His condition is quite critical. We've got to take blood from him for a test.
It's my duty, Jim, to inform you you're under arrest. Don't worry, Jim. I'm sure you're one of Mr. M's victims. The minute I can prove that, you'll be in the clear.
Thanks, Grant.
And the sum of $5,000 is hereby offered for information leading to the capture, dead or alive, of the murderous criminal who calls himself Mr. M.
That's exactly the way I want it, Mr. Weatherby.
Mrs. Waldron, my father was your lawyer for many years. Now I've inherited his duties, and among them is the right to advise you. Don't offer this reward.
But why, Mr. Weatherby?
Private citizens should leave such things to the police. And a maniac like this Mr. M might strike back.
It hasn't been released to the papers yet, but Mr. M tried to kill Grandma last night.
What?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, if you'll sign this, my office will handle the matter.
Here you are. And now, if you'll excuse me.
Certainly. The reward will be announced this afternoon.
Derek will give you any other information you want. Will you come with me, dear? I haven't any will anymore. It's as if something were compelling me. I don't know what it is.
You're tired, dear. The shock of last night was too much for you. Why don't you lie down and rest?
All clear, Mr. Waldron.
Having your grandmother offer that reward was a smart move, Anthony.
Wasn't. Police will never connect Mr. M with the Waldrons now.
Anthony, do you think it's safe to give your grandmother any more Hypnotreme?
Yes, now that we know how to control the dosage, we're still not sure how long the effect lasts. Can't take any chances.
I'll say we can. If she knew you were alive, she'd report you to the police.
As it is, Grandma's reputation for doing good will cover a multitude of our sins.
You have a point there. But we still have plenty to worry about with Jim Farrell in the hands of the police.
As we don't know yet how long Hypnotreme stays in the system, suppose he comes out of it.
You remember enough to hang us all.
What's this? It's tagged just like the first one. Listen to this. This record contains further orders from the real Mr. M. Obey them or the police will be told that Anthony Waldron is not dead as they believe.
How he gets those records to us is beyond me. The police don't frighten me half as much.
Come on, play it. Let's find out what he has to say before we decide what to do about it.
Through Jim Farrell, the police may find a lead to you, Anthony Waldron, by exposing your make-believe Mr. M, whose identity I have assumed. Send Derek to headquarters, using the reward money as an excuse, and be guided by any information he picks up.
He must be a mind reader to know about the reward.
Maybe Jim Farrell's condition isn't as critical as the papers are saying. You've got to hand it to that Mr. M. He's been a big help so far.
Yes, but just the same, he's using us to get the Kittridge submarine engine for himself.
I'd do the same thing if I were in his place.
Well, he's got all the advantage. He knows us while we don't know him.
But he can't do without us. Not until he gets the Hypnotreme, or learns how to trace the blueprints of the parts of the Kittridge engine.
He'll never get either.
Destruction of the master plan falls right into our hands. Sooner or later, with millions involved, he'll have to reveal himself. And then watch who walks away with the take. But you better do just what he suggests.
Well, just what we thought. Blair's still with the chemist. Jim's blood test shows traces of the same chemical we found in the bodies of the men Mr. M murdered. Then Jim must know something about Kittridge or his engine that Mr. M wants to find out about. No doubt of it. Incidentally, our chemists still can't analyze the stuff. They will. Meanwhile, the only direct lead we have is that taxi receipt we found in Jim's pocket. Yes?
Mr. Lamont to see you, sir.
Have him come in, Winford. I wonder what he wants.
Yeah. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello, Lamont. Good afternoon.
I just stopped in to tell you about Grandma Waldron's reward. $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of Mr. M.
Is that so?
Yes, she wants to help.
Probably won't, though.
Why not?
Rewards generally bring phone calls from amateur sleuths and cranks. Not always, of course, but usually.
I see. I hadn't thought about that. Well, just the same, there's the check.
We can't take it. That sort of thing has to be handled through the newspapers. Is that all, Mr. Lamont?
Yes. Thank you for your time, Lieutenant.
Use the hall door if you wish. Something new on the taxi lead?
Yes, sir. The company just phoned back. They've located the driver who picked up your brother last night, Mr. Farrell. He's number 37. He'll report to you at your brother's apartment.
Fortunately, taxi driver number 37 is on an out-of-town call, so he can't be sent to see Grant Farrell until he gets back.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I've contacted Shrek, and I think I can fix it so we can get rid of the driver and capture Grant Farrell at the same time.
Do that, Derek, and we're in the clear.
All the way, Marino. We'll put him under Hypnotreme and let him do away with Jim Farrell for us.
Number 37, that's him, all right.
Your name, Harper?
Yeah. Well, get out.
What's the idea? The less you know or remember, Harper, the more chance you have of staying alive. Now, do as he says.
I checked my company's insurance policy with the Nord plan to see if any individual profited from its destruction.
That was a good idea, Shirley.
Yes, but it didn't lead anywhere.
Mr. Grant Farrell?
That's right. Come in.
They told me at the office that you wanted to ask about a passenger I carried last night.
Yes, I believe it was my brother.
What does he look like?
Here's a picture of him.
Well, yes, I've seen this man before. Only it didn't look just like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I beg your pardon, sir, but he looked as if he'd been out all night, sort of dazed.
Oh, I see. Where did you pick him up?
At the Ardmore Storage Garage on 8th Street. He came by as I drove up, and then I took him out to Nord Plant.
What on earth was he doing in a downtown garage?
He said he was having his car fixed in the shop there.
I want you to drive me to that garage. Want to come along, Shirley?
Yes, indeed.
We're almost there. The garage is in the next block.
Pull up a few doors this side of the place so I can look it over.
Yes, sir. The shop is on the 6th floor. I'll drive you there up the ramp.
No, never mind.
Thank you, sir. Shall I wait?
No, that'll be all. There's something funny about that driver. His story doesn't match.
How do you mean?
He says he drove Jim from here to the Nord plant. That's 6 miles. The taxi fare would have been about $3. But the receipt found on Jim was only for $1.
He was very anxious to drive you into that building. Why'd you let him get away?
He didn't get away. If we were right about him, he'll park around the corner and come sneaking back on foot.
You were right.
Now I'm going in there and see what this is all about. Oh, and I want you to phone Kirby. Have him come here at once.
All right, Dan.
Hey, where's Farrell? Didn't he come up here?
Don't you remember? You were supposed to bring him here.
But he wouldn't let me drive him up. Say, wait a minute. Maybe he got wise to something.
You didn't make any slips, did you?
Not a one. Not a sworn he fell for my story.
Well, it's a cinch something went wrong. Well, there's nothing left to do but clear out of here before the cops arrive. Get the car started.
What's your hurry?